Good evening. Let me know if you can see me. Let me know if you can hear me. I just want to check and make sure before I get going because once we get going, we can't stop because it's about goal setting. It's about making sure that we achieve our dreams a little bit at a time, maybe a lot of it at a time. We'll figure it out together. We got some worksheets to help us figure it out. Some, I like to call them templates because it sounds a lot fancier and it makes me feel more productive than calling it a worksheet. But you do what makes you feel comfortable. Let me see a comment or a heart, something to let me know that you can hear me. It looks like there are two people watching. I'm looking for your comments. I got a like. Oh, thanks. I am watching for your comments. Let me know if you can hear me. All right. So I'm just checking to see if anybody can let me know. We'll get started as soon as I know that you guys can hear what I'm saying. Oh, thanks, Rachel. Thanks. I appreciate that. Needed that. Now we can get going. So as you can see, I have got a very lovely template here that is going to help us in our number one goal exploration. So if you're wanting to achieve some goals, you probably need some goals. Let's look and see what this sheet has to say about it, what this template has to say about it. We want a meaningful goal. We want something that speaks to our heart, something that speaks to our head. However you like to accomplish your goals. Have you ever accomplished a goal? Think about it. You tied your shoes, you put on pants, those are goals. We get up in the morning, we say we want to get dressed, we did it. And it has some steps in between thinking I want to put on some pants and actually putting on the pants. So we don't quite jump straight in and do it right off the bat, even though pants are easy. Sometimes. Last year, pants were hard for a lot of us. It's okay. Pants are an easier thing. Getting dressed in the morning can be an easier goal to accomplish. Sometimes they're harder. Sometimes they're more meaningful. Like you want to do something to get healthy, maybe. Maybe you want to start eating better this year, or you want to start making healthier choices just in general for yourself. Maybe you don't want to be out at all hours of the night in the cold winter air where it can affect your throat and lungs if you are asthmatic as I am. I don't want to be outside and all of that. Maybe I want to make a healthier choice to stay indoors after a certain time at night. We'll figure that out as we go, but think about these things as we go along. So you want to write the goal that is measurable. Make sure that you guys can see that I am scrolling, and I'm also checking for comments so that I can make sure that I'm answering you guys' questions. In case you can't see, that's me pulling up all those lovely comments. Oh, I see that we've got more. Oh, thanks. Glad to see you too, Rachel. Even if it is just an adorable profile picture of you and a baby. I can't see which baby that is right now, but oh my gosh, they're both adorable. It's good to see you too, and it's good to see everyone else who is hanging out with me. I know that there is more than one person watching, so to everyone who is watching, hello. So let's jump back into it. We want to make some good choices, so maybe we write them down. And instead of saying something like get healthy, you want to make that goal something measurable. Like I illustrated with the staying outside late at night, maybe I don't want to do that anymore because it's not super healthy for me. I can set a time limit, a way to measure. Okay, well, I'm not out at night at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock anymore because I'm asleep. And I can measure that because I set my sleep tracker every night and I know what time I go to bed. Things like that. You want to be able to see your progress. And then you want to make sure that it's something that's within your control. So if I work outside, if that's my job, that's maybe not always within my control of where I'm going to be working at what time. So that really depends on what's best for you. So as I'm sure you're aware, the library is not open at 11, 12 o'clock at night. So I do have a little bit more control there, and I can make sure that myself is in my house, that I am where I need to be out of the weather at that time. So you want to take those steps. You want to make sure that you know what those steps are and how you can measure them. And then you want to think ahead. You want to look at how this is going to affect your life. Is it going to make it better? Is that something that you want? Is to make your life better in this way? And how is it going to get better over a span of time? Here they use the example of 1 month to 1 year to 5 years. I'm going to get a sip of water because I have been having some throat issues lately. So we got to make sure that we're taking care of our body too. Which comes into what is the goal? Is it a social goal? Is it a career goal? Physical, family, a leisure goal? Maybe you want to read more books. Oh, goodness, who would have a goal like that? Oh, just pick the librarian. The librarian always wants to read more books. Um, Maybe it's a personality thing. Maybe you noticed that I'll out myself right here. Maybe you notice that you interject too much into other people's conversations, and you want to change that about yourself, and you want to make sure that you are not jumping right in on everybody else's conversation. And that's a personality trait that you want to adjust. So maybe you're going to take more time to think about your actions before you do what you're thinking about doing. Maybe you're going to take a step back and say, they're talking about the color blue over there and how it looks on this one in particular person. Maybe I don't need to jump in over there and tell them that a lighter blue maybe would even look better, or a darker blue would maybe complement their hair more. Maybe they don't need that from me right now, so I'm going to take a step back, analyze myself for a second. How am I achieving my goal of not jumping in on other people's conversations? By not jumping in on that conversation right now, I'm going to take that step back because that's a step in the process. Or maybe it's something completely different. Maybe you are wanting to open a small business. Maybe you're wanting to do some volunteer work on the side and you want to help out in your community because you're a super busy bee and you want to do all these things, but you're not getting that rewarding feeling of knowing that you're helping your community because you're getting paid for it. So you want to take some time out and volunteer. So you're going to lay out how you want to do that. You can't just say as much as, and I will out myself again. As much as you want to say, I'm going to do the thing, and then the thing just happens. It's not how it works. We all know that, and it's really the time of year right now for us all to start thinking about, well, I want to say I'm going to do something. How am I going to get there? So this little piece comes up, and it's super helpful. And you've got your 5 year goal, your 1 year goal, and your 1 month goal. So I'm going to go with that example of volunteerism. Maybe I want to volunteer with my local library, and I want to really grow that connection with my library and help them out as much as I can and make sure that my presence is something that they are really thriving from, that it's helping them, that I am there. So in the first month, maybe I want to make those contacts. Maybe I want to say, hey, that chick on the library live stream on Facebook, she looks like the person I might want to talk to if I want to volunteer at that library. So you're going to figure out what that girl's name is. It might be Mandy, maybe, just possibly. We'll figure it out, don't worry. You're going to find out her email. You're going to find out a phone number to call the library and make that contact within that first month. And sometimes it takes a little while to get a contact. Believe me, I know. People are busy, really, really busy, and life happens. It's happening every day. So you want to make sure that this is something that is realistic because you can't go into something thinking, well, I'm just going to do it, bam, 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 it's going to happen. Occasionally, we're going to have a setback here or there. And I know I may be preaching to the choir, you guys. I know you're with me. I appreciate you being with me. It's hard. But I have been doing a lot of goal setting recently, and I realize that even though I've been doing it, I feel like I've been setting goals my whole life. I still need somebody to tell me, Mandy, baby, you cannot just jump right in there and do the thing. You gotta follow the steps. So I'm talking to myself. I'll be honest, I'm talking to myself a little bit here. But that's really what these worksheets are for. They are for you to sit down and talk to yourself and have that conversation with yourself and say, okay, Mandy, in the first month, what can you accomplish legitimately? And don't feel as if accomplishing just making that contact or just getting that contact information. Don't feel like it's too little because every step is important. Every step is super important and also completely in your control. You got to remember that there are always going to be outside forces. So make your goal measurable. I'm going to get that phone number. How am I going to get that phone number? I'm going to do that research. I'm going to get that email. And then you have to wait for the other blocks to fall into place. And then you get to your 1 year goal. So you have got that phone number, you've got that email, you sent in your information, you said, hey, I'm interested in volunteering for that library. And within that first year after you have made that contact and that library lady has said, this person went out of their way to say hey to me, to say, hey, they want to volunteer in the library, I'm going to put them to work. That's perfectly fine. You gotta make that contact. You gotta start talking to that person, and then you gotta get in there and you gotta get the work done. So you think about how much work that you can offer. You gotta figure out how much time individually you can afford toward this goal within a year. So maybe you want to only volunteer 20 hours a month. That seems doable. It's 5 hours. Oh, that's a lot. Mm. That might be a lot, actually. That's 1 hour after work every day of the week. Not the weekend, every day of the week. So maybe you want to think about that. Maybe you want to scale it back. Or maybe you have plenty of time. Maybe you want to scale it forward. So really feel out what you know you can accomplish, what you can provide for that goal so that you can accomplish it. And then in 5 years, maybe you want to be the person who is the contact for those volunteers. Maybe you want to be running the volunteer chain. You want to be the communicator that tells everybody, okay, I've been here 5 years. I know what they need. I know how to shelf books. I know how to hand out uh, craft packets. I know how to give out stickers and take down names and emails so that people can get the newsletter. And I want to be that person that tells other new volunteers how to do that in 5 years. You can do it. You just got to label those steps and know when you're achieving each step, when you're getting to each step. Know when it's time to continue on and go to the next step, and know when it's time to focus on each individual step and really make sure that you know what it is that you're trying to find out. Make sure that you've got down that pattern that you really want to set out. Take your time because everyone does everything in their own time. So if in 5 years you only want to be doing half of the things I listed, that is perfectly valid and we appreciate you. We want you to know, I want you to know. I do use the royal we a lot because I speak for the library and a lot of things, so I'll scale back a little bit. I want you to know that you are appreciated just for being here and just for being the person that you are. So you need to identify what you can do in each of these time settings. Let's continue on just a little bit. And these worksheets I'm going to link in the comments below this live stream. We can do this for your career. And this can be not just the career that you currently have. You could be switching careers, starting something new like a new business, or retiring. This is for every stage in life. This could be a physical goal. Maybe you are a lifter and you really wanted to beef up in the next year. Or maybe you've been a lifter and you don't really like that lifestyle anymore, or you've lived it and it's time to move on to something different and you want to lose that muscle that you've been gaining for however long. This is a plan to help you achieve any goal. It's just what you can do and what you know that works for you. We've also got family here. So this one is kind of a fun one for me because I'm a very family oriented person. I love my family. I hope they all know that. So with this one, you can do your 1 month, 1 year, 5 year family goals, and it can include things like spending time with children. It doesn't have to be your children. It could be your brother's children, your sister's children, just children in the family in general. Maybe you want to teach something that you learned from your grandparents or your parents to the next generation. So it's really important I feel it's really important for each generation in a family to share time with the other generations. We don't just talk to people who are our own age. And you know that because you know that grandparents tend to dote on their grandchildren and that parents tend to talk about their grandparents to their children. So this can be something where you are trying to figure out how to pass on those maybe family stories or something to the next generation. How do you want to do that? In the first month, maybe you want to um, maybe you want to make a video about a story that your grandparents told you, or maybe you want to make. Ooh, my grandmother, she made the best homemade chocolate syrup. A lot of people call it chocolate gravy, and that sounds kind of weird, I know, but she made the best. And she had a recipe written down, and she gave it to me. So maybe if I want to pass that on to the next generation, because I don't have children of my own currently, unless you count the cats and my dog. Maybe I want to make a video of me making that and talking about how much fun I had in the kitchen with my grandmother as she was making this. And maybe I want to talk about how she used her own measuring techniques in this video. And maybe I just want to make that short little video because it doesn't take very long to make some chocolate syrup. And then maybe for my 1 year goal, I want to share that. Maybe I want to share that with all of the people in my family that are of my same age or older and say, hey, do you guys want to show this to your little ones or to your children's little ones? And then for a 5 year goal, maybe I want to make a family cookbook based off that. Maybe I have inspired myself and others to share things like this in our family. Maybe we want to make a family cookbook and share it with everybody. That is an easy 1 month, 5 year, sorry, 1 month, 1 year, 5 year goal thought process. And you can think through each step in that. And it's for everyone, I'm sure it's different. For me, I tend to spout out steps kind of quickly, and for others, maybe it takes a minute. Maybe you're not as functionally oriented as I am. I think about, okay, well, how does this work for me? And then how is this going to work for my goal? So maybe that takes you a little more time, and that's just fine because it's all about you figuring out how this is going to work in your life to accomplish the goal that you want to accomplish. And then, ooh, another fun one with leisure. Maybe you want to find a new hobby or practice something that is a current hobby or like a dormant hobby. I'm sure you've heard that a lot. So some people will say that reading is their dormant hobby, and that's just because they don't have any time to read. And that happens. It happens. Believe me, I have so many patrons that come in that tell me, "Well, I just don't have any time." Oh, hi, Narissa. Sorry, I just saw your comment. And Rachel, thanks for hanging out. Oh my gosh, I'm seeing all your comments now. That's great. Parents are hard. Pants are hard. Yes, they are. But yeah, maybe you want to pick up a dormant hobby. So something that you liked when you were a kid. Maybe you like to draw. A lot of kids like to draw, and then they just kind of stop at some point. We'll pick that back up. Maybe in the first month you want to draw a star. You just want to learn how to draw a star again because you used to doodle it on your pages, or you just never really learned how to. So you learn how to draw that line to line star. And then in the next year, maybe you want to draw an entire galaxy. Maybe that's a little much. So let's scale it back a little bit. We gotta be rational. We gotta be reasonable about these goals. You could definitely. I'm not gonna tell you you can't because everybody's different. I just couldn't if I was going from one star within a year going to the next galaxy. So maybe you just want a star, a couple of stars in the sky at night. Maybe you want to work on that for a little while. Well, then in 5 years, maybe you want to know how to draw Starry Night. You could do it. You would have to label out what you would need, go and find out those tools that you're going to need, specific pencils maybe you need, or techniques to draw these specific things. Label them, write them down, put them somewhere where you look at them often, and remind yourself, this is my goal, this is what I'm trying to achieve. Even if it's leisure time, that's you time. We are all about self-care at the library. If you need something, all you have to do is ask, and we will find out how we can help you get it and how we can help you do it. And then we've got more goal exploration here with personality. I think I gave a pretty good example of how you could improve your personality, or how I could improve my personality. A flaw in my personality, I think I have. This one gives the example of anger outbursts. So instead of jumping into other people's conversations, just bursting into your own angry fit of a conversation, maybe that's something that you want to work on. Maybe you want to work on increasing self-esteem. Gosh, I know that one's hard. Any girls out there? Feel me? Oh, I love you. You are valid. And you're an awesome human being. There you go. Help your self-esteem a little bit. Help increase your self-esteem. Maybe you want to improve your attitude. Maybe people tell you all the time that you just got a bad attitude. Maybe you just always have a very unpleasant facial expression all the time, due to this bad attitude. And maybe you want to work on that just a little bit. And it doesn't have to be something that you sit for 4 hours at a time in the mirror going, how do I change this? How am I gonna change? You don't have to do that. You can make small improvements. You're still achieving a goal. I want you guys to know that no goal is too big, no goal is too small. All goals are valid and important if they are important to you. And then we have other, of course, and that's where you would work that out on your own. And I'm going to link this worksheet. It comes from actually therapistaid.com/worksheets. I love this website. I love it. It really, the worksheets that I get there, the templates, excuse me, let me use my fancy word. The templates I get there for these worksheets, they really help me sit down and break things up and think about it in a grander scheme. So I'm going to share the next tab. So this is the goal. Oh, sorry. This is a goal planning, setting goals template. And I'm going to make sure that you can all see me. Okay. I can see you. I hope you can see me. Oh, and I just realized that my glasses are reflecting. Oh, you guys, I'm so sorry. You're gonna get nothing but blue light reflection off these babies. That's okay. You're not worrying about me. You're worried about the sheep, right? Worried about the template? That's right. It's the correct answer. Okay. So this one is the goal planning, setting goals sheet, template, if you like. So this one's a little more vague for those who don't want to stick to something more structured. They want to kind of just think about it out of the box. So something I want to accomplish in the next week. Okay, so that's kind of quick. Whoa, what do I want to accomplish in the next week? Maybe I would like to organize my house. You guys, I don't know if you know this, but I just moved. And oh, moving's a lot. It is a lot. There are boxes everywhere, random cat toys. I got a new rug. I had to put that somewhere. It's a lot. So maybe that's what I want to do in the next week. I want to organize my house. I think that's a tall ask, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to organize my house in the next week. Nope, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to organize my living room. How about that? We're going to organize the living room in the next week. Okay, okay, we can do that. We get it done. We do a little bit at a time. And then in the next month, maybe that's when I organize my whole house. So then there's another way of breaking it up. Maybe I want to organize individual rooms every week. And you can do that. You can add in right there between something to accomplish in the next week and in the next month, you can add in individual weeks to get to that next month. Because maybe in the next month I want to organize the whole house, and that's a process. And then maybe in the next year, I want to have remodeled the house. So that's everything. That is organizing. That is adding things that you need. That is taking away things that you don't. That's repaint. You know, it's the whole thing. There are a lot of steps. So you're going to want to plot those out. So maybe that's where your something I want to accomplish in the next week adds up. And then you go month to month. In the next month, I want to do this. In the next month. And you build. And then you build up to that next year, I have remodeled the whole house. And then maybe in the next 5 years, who knows? Maybe I want to sell the house. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe I only bought this place. It's not true. But some people do it all the time. Maybe I bought this place because I knew that I wanted to fix it up, live in it for a little while, save some money, and then sell the place to buy another house because I want to put myself through this whole painful process all over again. Why not? You only live once. So you will plot that out week by week. Maybe you like having a vague concept of, well, I just want to do this individual concept and I want to do it over time at my own pace. Maybe that's how you work best. That's up to you. So then you want to think about obstacles and strategies. So as you've written down, I've used the example of, for the week, organize my current room I'm in, my living room. The next month, I want to organize the whole house. The next year, I want to remodel the whole house and have updated and upgraded things. And then the next 5 years, I want to sell it. I'm going to make it all pretty for somebody else. So we got to think about some things. We're going to think about obstacles that are going to be in the way of reaching your goals. And they're going to pop up everywhere. And I'll tell you, the first thing with a house, money. Money. And then the second one is going to be time. And that's where your strategy comes in. Do you want to do it weekly? Do you want to save up monthly? How do you want to plot that out to achieve that goal? Things I will need to achieve my goals. This is where your list making comes in. So maybe you're going through, maybe you're using this to plot out a goal achievement notebook. Or maybe again, maybe you're just using it as a vague concept to work based off of. Maybe you're just going to hang it on the wall And you're going to look at it every day as you go by and you go, okay, I'm one step closer. I did this. I picked up paint today. I swept the floor and put away toys today. Anything. And then at the very end, we have what I can begin doing tomorrow to work toward my goal. So this is your call to action. This is no longer a concept. We're going to do something to achieve these goals. And then every day you could put in this notebook, what can I do to achieve this goal tomorrow? But you've got to start. That's the hardest part. You ask anyone. The hardest part of achieving a goal is taking that first step. I'm going to link this in the comments. I might also put it in the description of this live so that if you want to come back later and you want to go and get this worksheet for yourself, you can. So now we're going to go into the last bit, the goal breakdown, which we've done along the way, but these are just tools for you. I want you to know that there are multiple ways for you to do this, and you don't have to get everything off of this specific website. These are just some that I found helpful in the past and currently. So I'm going to share my next tab and show you guys the goal breakdown. So I'm going to check on those comments before I get started, see who's still hanging out with me. Let's see. You can give me a like, you can drop a comment so that I know that you are here. Alright, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to power through. I'm going to go to the end because it's the goal breakdown. So imagine you want to, for this scenario, find a new job. It's a big goal with many, many steps. It's going to take a good bit of time, good chunk of your time. It can be super stressful and it can feel like it is all you can think about. And it's the type of goal that will always start the next time you think about it. It'll always start after the next shift at your current job. It'll always start next month after I get my last paycheck for the month. Maybe I'm going to start it then. That's when I'm going to start looking. But it never seems to just happen. You just keep saying the next time, the next time. And that's hard. It's a hard cycle to break once you start saying that. And that's why it's so important to break your goals down into tiny steps. Small steps. I think somebody wrote a couple of books about it. But we're just going to look at this template right here. So this is what they suggest for you. To block out your time in a way. So I don't know if you guys have heard of blocking out, time blocking, what that is. You can use it on a virtual calendar, or you can do it yourself with highlighters on a piece of paper. That's up to you. I'll be honest, I like doing it both ways because then it's really ingrained. Like, this is the specific time for this thing. So they suggest this specific template of 1 hour on a Sunday afternoon. You're going to, here we go. 1 hour on a Sunday afternoon, you're going to write a list of the careers that you might like. And this is where it's very hard to be realistic because you're thinking about it in the abstract. You only give yourself 1 hour. You got to go into this hour knowing that it's goal achievement time. You're breaking it down. You're doing the thing. So we don't want to go in there and we don't want to write down off the wall things like I want to be a lion tamer. I kind of did that though. I do have a cat and he does roar at me a lot. But do something that's realistic. And if it's something that people don't call realistic and you really do want to be a lion tamer and you are going to block it out and do the thing, go for it. All power to you. I support you. If that's what you want in life, you go for it. But we got to think about things that we like first, because maybe you don't get to be that lion tamer, but maybe you do get to work at a zoo and work your way up to lion carer. We'll figure it out together. And if you and I don't figure it out together, you in this piece of paper, you're gonna figure it out together, I promise, because it's super easy. So just follow the steps. List of careers that interest you. 1 hour on a Sunday. Oh, I believe that I'm unplugged. Let me check. There we go. I did not want to lose you guys in the live stream. We've come so far together. So 1 hour on a Sunday afternoon, on a lazy Sunday afternoon, you're going to think about the things that you would like to possibly do as a job. And then for 1 hour on a Monday after dinner, lazy Monday after dinner, what are we doing? We're scrolling Facebook, Instagram, probably. Maybe you're watching some Netflix. Maybe you're reading a book, which I will never shame you for reading a book on a Monday after dinner. But maybe you want to skip it this Monday because you're going to revise your resume and you're going to add any recent job experience. So you're going to take something that's existing, you're just going to update it a little bit. And then on that Wednesday, you're going to spend 45 minutes looking at job openings. Oh my goodness, this is a rabbit hole. If this is what your goal is, definitely limit that time. 45 minutes and that's it. You will get lost. It is worse than Facebook and Instagram. You will get lost in those job openings because there are so many. But you want to keep your search settings and you want to keep your descriptions for what you're looking for. Use specific wording. 45 minutes. Wednesday after dinner. Don't go to Facebook. Go to something like Indeed or Snag a Job, or just go to Google and type in jobs near me and then use their categories to fill out what works best for you, what is on that list of possible job interests. And then here's some more tips. You want to avoid creating tasks that require longer than an hour because we all know that in this day and age, it is hard to keep your attention for too long. We're constantly going to the next thing, and that's good in some respects. But for trying to achieve smaller tasks, you really want to limit it to less than an hour or an hour at the most. And if you find a task that is difficult to start, maybe it's too big. Maybe you need to break it down a little bit more. They use the example of playing a guitar. And that can be broken into practice the beginning of a song. Because I'll be the first to tell you, calluses, they don't just get there overnight. You gotta practice, 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 and develop that structure so that you can play the music beautifully. The tasks that you create are yours. You created them. They are not limitations. They are ways for you to achieve your goals. So if you need to change them, feel free. You can update them. You can just completely toss one out if it doesn't work for you anymore. And if a task is easier than you expected it to be, sandwich it together with another one. Sandwiches are better than dry bread anyway. And then, I love this tip. You need to be a little bit protective of the time that you schedule for these tasks. That's where time blocking really helps, and having like a sensor on your phone where you can kind of turn off other apps for a specific amount of time. You really want to take care of that time that you have set aside for yourself. So if you're not using your phone, turn off your phone. If you are using your phone, turn off those specific apps for an amount of time. Go somewhere with very little distractions. If you're home right now, you're quarantining, and you've got multiple people in your house, oh my goodness, go outside. If you are doing something virtually, like if one of your tasks is a virtual task, you can go sit outside of a restaurant that has Wi-Fi. You can keep your social distance and keep your sanity. Make sure that you are protecting your time that you set aside to do these things. Get creative and find out new ways for you to achieve your goals and for you to achieve those tiny little broken up steps of your goal. And don't forget to set that timer. Set a timer of some sort. Look at the clock before you get started to keep track of how long you have been working so that you're not going over that 1 hour threshold or whatever the time is that works for you. And here we go, the most important part. Write it down. I love this. They just give you a completely blank template. You can either just write down the way that they've got it set out, or you can just print it straight off the printer. You can come into the library and use the printers there. We do have a small charge for that, but it's not much. It's a couple of cents. There we go. Not a couple of dollars. My bad. A couple of cents, and you have got your goal breakdown. And I will link that as well. So I'm going to go back up to the top here. I know we've talked a lot. I know I've talked a lot about goals and how you need to set them up so that they are achievable for you, so that they work for you, and so that you can become a better, more well-rounded individual by setting a goal and achieving it and feeling accomplished for doing that too. Don't forget, putting on pants is a goal, and if you achieve that today, you're awesome. All right, I'll see you guys later. Oh wait, before I go, don't forget that we are doing some more small business entrepreneurship focused programming this month and next month. So watch out for that, and we will see you guys later.